This is John Kohler with OKRod.com. We're here at the China Ranch here near the Death Valley. We're in this canyon here, and we're going to go visit China Ranch. They started planting date trees in 1990, so they've been growing for about 20 years. So today we're going to learn more about dates, how they grow, and I'm even going to pick up some dates to bring back home with me. So we're here at the China Ranch date farm here in Tecopa, California. Once again, it's about an hour and a half from Las Vegas. Nice drive through the desert. So we're going to give you the full grand tour here at the China Ranch date farm. First, we're going to go on a tour of the orchard and show you all the date palms growing the dates. And we are lucky they're in harvest season, which runs from September through the end of January. And then next, we're going to show you the date palms that are for sale. And then we're going to actually got a behind the scenes tour of how the dates are processed. And I can guarantee the dates are not heated above 118 degrees here. And then finally we're going to go into the gift shop. So we're here at China Ranch, and this is their date orchard, and these happen to be the field of Diary dates. This date is originally from Iraq, and they produce about 100 pounds per tree, and that's actually light yielding. So 100 pounds, man, that's a lot of fruits to eat. You can see here they have a nice use of different kinds of blankets and old dresses and shirts and different things up. And that also, besides it looking pretty, basically the functionality of that is to basically keep the birds from eating the ripe dates. The birds love the ripe dates, and if they don't see them, they won't eat them. So you can come up over here and we can look underneath the drapes here. And you can see all these red dates are not yet ripe. You'll see an occasional black date that is one of the ripe dates. So how these are harvested, what they'll do is they'll come underneath here and they'll shake. And when they shake, oh, there you go. When you shake them, you get the ripe ones. So once you have a ripe date, you know, if you get the pit out of a date, wow, that's pretty good. Fresh date. Now, if we take and plant this pit, dates are not true to seed. What that means is if you plant this pit, you're not going to get this same exact fruit. The way these are propagated, or basically how they make new trees of this same variety, is they take what's called the offshoots. And these Diary makes a lot of offshoots. You can see each one of these coming off the main trunk at the bottom is an offshoot. So this is an offshoot. Here's an offshoot over here. One over here. And basically they cut these off of the tree and then they root them. Stick them in the ground. They'll grow new roots. And actually each one of these offshoots will turn into a basically genetic clone of this tree. And that's how all Diary dates are formed. All the Diary dates in the world started from just one tree. Same thing with Medjool dates. Medjool dates started off with one tree. They've been basically separated off, planted, and then they have new trees of the same exact variety. So here at the China Ranch, they have a lot of seedling varieties or special varieties, and those are the ones that they've gotten from seeds that they've planted. When you plant a seed to get a date tree, you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes they're going to be good, sometimes so not. And I prefer actually some of the seedling varieties or the hybrid varieties because you never know what you're going to get, and some of them taste amazing. Let's continue on our tour and check out some other trees and other date varieties here at the China Ranch. Now we're at a field of the China Ranch hybrids. So what these trees are, these are all basically seedling trees. So they planted seeds from dates. They got some really good varieties. Then they got the offshoots, and this is a really good example of an offshoot. This is the main tree right here, and then this is the offshoot that kind of grows out of the trunk. And they basically whack this off, and they plant this one, and this one turns into another tree. And each of these hybrid trees produce between 100 and 300 pounds of dates per year. So if you just had one date tree, and you're in a good climate where you could grow dates, I think you'd have enough dates for the year. So here are some of the hybrid dates ripening up. You can see that it's got the standard yellow classic color of the dates when they're unripe, and you can see all the different ripening dates, you know, on the vine. And if you want the ripe ones, once again, shake it a little bit and the ripe ones will fall off for you. So here's a ripe one. One of the best dates I've ever had. I've never had them fresh off the tree like that before. And everybody should have fresh dates. So good. We're here in the Cordrari orchard now. The Cordrari date. This is the Cordrari date palm The Khadrari date is actually originally from Iraq, has a nice small black date. They're actually delicious. I love them. And one of the nice things about the Khadrari is that unlike other date palms that actually get really tall, these actually don't get too tall vertically. So they're already done harvesting the Khadrari dates this season because we are here at the end of date season, and the date season started in September. So it's kind of nice that certain date palms, certain varieties, put out their fruit earlier or later. While we're here, why don't we talk about the date tree? So I have been mentioning these are date trees, which is actually incorrect. These are date palms. And the reason for that is that these aren't actually trees. They don't actually even have wood. We'll show you later a date palm, a fallen date palm, and actually how they grow. They have a lot of small stems that come up the middle. And so it's not really even a tree. Because the date palms aren't really even trees, they're palms, they're actually more related to the grass family than a tree. So some people say that the fruits are actually somewhere between a grain and a fruit. So I consider dates a fruit because it has seeds. It's not a grain because grains to me are something that don't have any seeds. So this is a Barhi date palm. The Barhi is also originally from Iraq. And the unique thing about the Barhi dates is that they can be eaten before they're totally ripe. So when they're in their yellow stage, that's actually called in their kalal stage, they can be eaten hard like an apple and they're not too astringent like other varieties of dates would be. The Barhi offshoots are kind of rare, so they're lucky they got some here at the China Ranch, and as their trees grow, they pull out the offshoots and are able to grow more of the delicious Barhi dates. So the Middle Eastern people like to get the Barhi dates in their kalal stage when they're not quite ripe and eat them, so oftentimes they're really hard to find. But when I get them, my favorite is to let them kind of ripen up on the vine and then eat them halfway in between being totally firm and being totally wet, because these are a wet date, and to me they taste like maple syrup. So now we're next to a Hani date palm, and this one is actually from Egypt. These one makes nice big moist dates, but the moister the dates, the more fermentation could set in. So if you buy too many dates and they're not refrigerated or frozen, then they'll actually ferment and then they're no good anymore. The other thing about the date palms is that, man, these date palms are actually dangerous. Each one of these palm leaves here have a tip, and that tip is as sharp as like a knitting tip, and that thing will really get you. It's really worse near the bottom of the, ow, got me, near the bottoms of the shoots as they come out. These guys are really sharp. You could probably use these as toothpicks. Super sharp. As they get larger, ow, got me. Ah, shit, I'm bleeding. So yeah, you can watch out. These guys are really sharp. So if you're ever around date trees, be careful. So behind me we have a Medjool tree, and the Medjool dates are from Morocco originally. And let's see, you can see all the white sheets. Once again, the white sheets are to hide the ripe fruits from the birds. So the Medjools are often known for the large fruits, and if you go to your local health food store, you're going to often find Medjool dates. I don't know why people like Medjool dates, maybe because they're big and maybe because they're sweet, but they don't really have a nice, intense flavor like some of the other varieties that they're growing here. Plus, the Medjool dates often cost more money per pound. So I'd rather buy cheaper dates that taste better than Medjools, but that's just my personal opinion. The Medjool date palms will make about 100 to 150 pounds of dates in one season from one tree. Let's move on to the tallest trees here at the China Ranch Date Farm. So these are the original date trees that are grown here at China Ranch. They started in 1920, and the story behind it is actually really funny. They ordered some dates from mail order company. They took the seeds and planted them, and they basically got seedling trees or hybrid varieties. About half the trees here are male, and one male tree can pollinate dozens of females. And there's about 10 trees that make dates, and you can see these things are huge. They've been growing for, 90 years now. This one didn't quite make it, and we're going to do a close-up to show you what the date palm looks like, because it is not actually a tree. So this is the stump of a date palm, and once again, this is not a tree. We think of them as trees because they grow like trees, and this is what it looks like. This is the outer, if you could call it a bark, it's not really a bark. And here's on the inside. If you get a close-up on this, you can see the inside is made up of individual strands. And so you can see all the little strands. And here's a cutaway shot because it has been rotting out. all these strands come together collectively, or little stems, they come together collectively and form the whole tree. So there's actually no real wood and there's no real bark. So these tend to rot out. These are not good for use of structural uses, but they're good to grow food, and dates are absolutely delicious. So this is the honey date tree, and this is an American variety. These other varieties from all over the world. This one actually was developed in the Coachella Valley here in California, and this tree bears 300 pounds, one tree, one season. Man, imagine 300 pounds of dates. I know I couldn't eat that many in 1 year. That's eating like almost a pound a day. That's insane. And I don't recommend doing that either. So this is the honey date tree. Honey dates are often less expensive because they yield so much and they're from California, unlike Medjools that cost a lot more. And once again, here's a honey date offshoot from the tree that then they could basically cut off and then make a whole new palm tree that would then yield 300 pounds of fruit 1 year. Simply amazing. Let's continue on and check out some other trees here at the China Date Farm. So we're standing next to a Deglet Noor date palm. Now this date is originally from Algeria, and 90% of the dates grown in the United States are the Deglet Noors. And I think that's very unfortunate because I like to eat a wide variety of foods. Now, why are the Deglet Noors mostly grown in California? The main reason why these ones are grown most in the United States is because, number one, they harvest a lot per plant, about 300 pounds of dates per one plant in one season. That's a lot of crop. The other reason is probably even more important, is that they're very easy to handle when they're harvested. The reason for that is when the Deglet Noors are ripe, they get actually dry and fairly hard. So they're not damaged like soft dates would be damaged. They can be harvested on industrial equipment. But the problem with that for people who are into raw foods is that once the Deglet Noors are harvested in their dry state, they often go through a steaming process where they're basically steamed up and then they plump up. Then they look nice and shiny. And then in that situation, those Deglet Noors are no longer raw because they have been steamed. And that's an unnatural process. So here at the China Ranch, they only sell the Deglet Noors in their natural dry state. The Deglet Noors are also known as the bread date because they're actually nice and hard. So if your Deglet Noors aren't looking like some of the ones here in the middle, when they're like nice and dried up, they're probably been steamed and they're no longer raw. So especially if you're getting pitted Deglet Noors, they've probably been steamed. So you want to make sure you get your Deglet Noors from a good source such as the China Ranch here in California. So this is the nursery area here at China Ranch, and you can see all the different cuttings. Like I said, they cut off the offshoots. The offshoots are then planted into big pots. Then they basically grow into new trees and will make more dates. So they sell some of the offshoot plants that they have here, and they all label them. This one evidently is a hybrid variety. So they have a lot of hybrid variety offshoots, and many people use date palms as palms for landscaping. But remember, the date palms make the date fruit, which are more important, in my opinion, than using them for landscaping. We just got a behind-the-scenes tour, and we're going to give you the behind-the-scenes tour here at the China Ranch. They bring the dates in right out this back door. They bring it into this processing room, and you can see all the racks and racks and racks of dates sitting here. And you can pull these up, and these were just harvested off the tree. Once they get them, they bring them into this room. They sit here until they could then get sorted out. So you can see here some of the dates are still not quite ripe yet, and some of them are. And actually, there's even ones that have some bug damage. So the bug damage ones goes to like the pigs. And so once they harvest all the dates, and they have many different varieties, as I said, they have 15 different varieties here. They'll take the dates and then they'll bring them over to this sorting machine. So then they dump the dates onto the sorting machine. This has a mesh here, so all the dirt and things fall to the bottom. Then the next step is they turn it on. So let's go ahead and turn this machine on and show you how it works. So this is the sorting machine here, and we're going to go ahead and turn the sorting machine on. And it just rocks back and forth. It shakes the dates down and down, so it shakes all the bits of dates that aren't good out of it. And then it comes down, and then the dates come onto this little conveyor belt here. So So then the dates fall into this conveyor belt, and all the dates are on the conveyor belt, and people come here and they sort out all the dates, the good ones and the bad ones. They keep the good ones and the bad ones get discarded. Then they'll have all the sorted dates. They can pick out the good ones, the bad ones, and the unripe ones. The ones that are ready to eat go into packaging ready for you guys to buy. The ones that aren't quite ripe will go into the ripening room. And the ones that are good to go end up going in the storage room. So let's show you those two areas next. So this is the date ripening room. I love this room, especially now in the winter time. We could come in here and you can see the temperature. They're keeping the temperature in here with about 80 degrees. So that's definitely going to keep your dates raw here at the China Ranch. And these are all their ripening racks. So take a look. They got all different varieties of dates on the ripening racks. And look at these colors. Man, look at those red dates. So the red dates ripen up to black. And then some of the yellow dates actually ripen up to the brown color. So these are all ripening dates, and dates will ripen off the vine. I really like this tray here. You can see all the different dates. Most of them are black and ripe, and some are still red and not quite ripe. So if you try to eat an unripe date, in most cases, they will be highly astringent and not taste too good. That being said, they are edible. There are a few varieties such as the Varieties, that you can eat when they're not quite ripe, and then they taste more like an apple. So after they're ripe, they get stored in the storage room. So let's go over there next. So this is the walk-in cooler here. We're gonna go inside where all the dates are stored before they are shipped out to you. So now we're inside the storage room of the dates, and you can see by the thermometer on the wall, approximately 40 degrees. That's a good temperature to keep and store your dates for a long period of time. You can also keep them in just regular ambient air. They're not going to last as long, and they may dry out. So if you're storing them at the cold, at 40 degrees, they're going to last longer. So inside here, they have basically prepackaged dates, all the different varieties, from honey dates to Medjool dates to their hybrid dates, Halawi dates. Besides the packages, they have them boxed up, basically ready to ship out to people. And they also have all the bulk dates. So this is like a raw foodist wonderland here. You can snack on dates all night long. This is the behind the scenes tour though, so most people don't get this tour. So we're here inside the gift shop, and they grow 15 varieties of dates here at China Ranch, but they only have their varieties for sampling that they currently are harvesting. The harvest lasts from September through January, and at the end of January, and we're here at the beginning of January, so they have harvested many of the dates, but there's still more to be harvested. So here are the samples, and you can see each variety of date has a different taste and texture, much like different apples, like Fuji apples, Granny Smith apples. Here's their hybrid variety, so this is known as a seedling variety that just maybe came up, they planted from seed. Next here we have a drier date called the Zahidi. Honey dates, they're definitely a sweeter, softer date. This one is also another hybrid variety. That one looks really good to me. Over here we have the classic Medjool date. I'm not a big fan of Medjools. They're so common. Here's another hybrid variety. Yet another hybrid variety. Here's our gourmet dates. Here, Halawi dates. So these Halawi dates, you could eat them when they're yellow and then they're more like an apple and kind of crunchy. Or you could get them when they're more ripe and sugary and soft. Over in this container here, they have some more hybrid dates, different varieties that they grow here that are unique to China Ranch. Here's some Diaries and some Dayglet Nors, which are also known as bread dates, and they're nice and more firm and dry. So let's take a look around the gift shop and see what else they have. So this is a sampler box. You get 4 different varieties of dates, and I'd recommend taking home one of these boxes. It's definitely a good price. And some unique varieties that you've probably never tried before, because they only grow them here. These are China Ranch hybrid varieties, China Ranch Gold, honey dates, and of course the standard Medjool dates. So now we're in the China Ranch gift shop, and this is like a little antique store. They got all kinds of cool knickknacks and different things that you could purchase. It's kind of fun to look around and see all the old-fashioned things they got here at the gift store. So I had a great time here visiting the China Ranch date farm, walking around, seeing all the date palms growing, learning about all the different varieties. It's a great place to visit if you're in Las Vegas. It's about an hour-and-a-half drive outside Las Vegas. We're here at the beginning of January, and I highly encourage you to come during date harvest time, which is between September and the end of January. And you can see the snow-capped mountains behind us here. So there's also nice hiking in this area. This would make an excellent day trip to come out from Vegas, check out all the date palms growing, bring a nice picnic lunch, but don't forget your toothbrush to get all the date sugars off your teeth after eating them all. So once again, this is John Kohler with OKRaw.com, and keep eating your fresh fruits and vegetables. They're good stuff.